There's a specific kind of silence that happens when someone mentions the upcoming family gathering. While others are coordinating rides and planning what to bring, there's always that one person who gets very quiet. Not angry, not defiant, just quiet, already calculating how to decline without causing a scene. You know who you are. The one who hasn't shown up in years, the one whose empty chair at the table has become so normal that people barely notice anymore. And when they do notice, when someone asks why you never come, you give vague answers. I'm busy. Maybe next time. It's complicated. But the truth is so much deeper than busy and so much more painful than complicated. Because here's what people don't understand about avoiding family gatherings. It's not about hating your family. It's about being exhausted from pretending. Every family event is a performance. You walk through that door and immediately become someone else. The version that doesn't mention certain topics. The version that laughs at jokes that aren't funny. The version that keeps every real thought locked away. Because honesty has never been safe here. You're not yourself. You're the role you've been assigned since childhood. The peacekeeper, the disappointment, the success story, the cautionary tale. Whatever part you play it well. You've had years of practice, but performances are exhausting. And eventually you realize something that changes everything. The loneliest place you can be is in a room full of people who think they know you, but don't. Not really. They know the character you've been playing. They have no idea who you actually are. Your body figured it out before your mind did. That tightness in your chest when the invitation comes, the way your stomach drops when you think about walking through that door, the exhaustion that hits you hours before you even arrive. That's not anxiety. That's your nervous system screaming a truth you've been trying to ignore. This place doesn't feel safe. Not safe in the dramatic way, safe in the quiet way. The way where you can breathe fully, where you can exist without monitoring every word, where love doesn't come with conditions attached like fine print on a contract. Your body has been keeping score. Every time you had to edit yourself, every time your feelings were dismissed, every time you needed support and got silence instead. Your nervous system remembers what your mind tried to forget, and now it's protecting you the only way it knows how, by making you want to stay away.
Not all trauma is loud. Some families aren't abusive in obvious ways. No screaming, no violence, just emptiness. Conversations that never go beneath the surface. Feelings that are never acknowledged. A polite distance that somehow hurts more than conflict ever could. There's a name for this: emotional neglect. It's not about what happened, it's about what didn't happen. The moments you needed someone to see you and they looked away. The times you tried to share something real and were met with indifference. The years of learning that your inner world doesn't matter to the people who should care most. Emotional neglect doesn't leave visible scars, but it leaves a specific kind of ache. The ache of being surrounded by family and still feeling fundamentally alone. Of talking for hours and saying nothing that matters. Of leaving gatherings more hollow than when you arrived. The decision to stop going doesn't happen suddenly. It's not one bad Thanksgiving that does it. It's the accumulation. Like water dripping into a cup, one drop doesn't matter. 1,000 drops overflow. One day you're getting ready for another family gathering, and you just stop. Your hands go still, and you ask yourself a question you've been avoiding for years. What am I doing this for? Not for yourself. You dread these events. Not for a connection. You leave feeling more disconnected than before. You're going out of obligation, out of guilt, out of some unspoken rule that says family gatherings are non-negotiable, that showing up is what good people do. But what if showing up is killing you slowly? What if the cost of that obligation is your peace, your authenticity, your mental health? At what point does loyalty become self-betrayal? That's the question that changes everything. Even when you know you're making the right choice, the guilt is crushing because we're conditioned from birth to believe that family is everything. Blood is thicker than water. You owe them your presence, your time, your loyalty, no matter what they've done, no matter how they make you feel. So when you choose not to go, you carry this weight. Am I being too sensitive? Too unforgiving? Am I the problem? The doubt follows you everywhere because stepping away from family feels like breaking a sacred law, like you're doing something fundamentally wrong. But here's what that guilt is really about. It's your conditioning fighting your clarity, your mind trying to protect a bond that's been hurting you. That's how powerful family programming is. It runs deeper than logic. It lives in your bones. But you don't owe anyone access to you at the expense of your peace. You don't owe anyone a relationship that requires you to disappear. And you don't owe anyone performance just because you share DNA. Real love doesn't demand that you betray yourself to earn it.
When you finally say no, when you send that text or make that call, the reactions tell you everything. Some people understand, most don't. They're hurt, angry, confused. They say things designed to pull you back in. Family is supposed to forgive. Life is short. You'll regret this. You're being selfish. Every statement is a hook, trying to reel you back into the role you've been playing, the role of the person who prioritizes everyone else's comfort over their own survival. But their discomfort with your boundary is not your emergency. Their inability to understand doesn't make your choice wrong, and their reaction, no matter how loud, doesn't change the fact that you deserve to protect yourself. Some families will eventually respect the boundary, some never will. Some will make you the villain in their story, rewrite history to avoid examining their part. And as painful as that is, it's also clarifying. Because a family that can't respect your boundaries never truly saw you anyway. They saw a role, an expectation, but not you. Here's what nobody tells you about choosing not to go. After the guilt fades, after the dust settles, something unexpected happens. Peace. Real peace. Not the forced calm of keeping it together, not the exhausted relief of surviving another gathering, but actual peace. You notice the absence of tension in your body. You're not bracing for impact, not managing anyone's emotions, not performing, just existing. And in that stillness, you start to remember who you are beneath all the roles you've played. You laugh differently, rest deeper, breathe fuller, because you're not carrying the weight of everyone else's expectations anymore. You're not trying to fix what's been broken for decades. You're not trying to be enough for people who will never see you as enough. You're just being. And that's when you realize this is what family is supposed to feel like. Safe, real, honest. And if your family of origin can't provide that, you have every right to find it elsewhere. The people who avoid family gatherings aren't running from love, they're refusing to accept the counterfeit version. They'd rather be alone than surrounded by people who make them feel alone. And that choice, as painful and misunderstood as it is also deeply hopeful. Because it says, I know real connection exists, and I won't settle for less. Maybe one day those family relationships will heal. Maybe bridges will be rebuilt. But until then, you're allowed to stay on your side of the river. You're allowed to build your own version of home with people who actually see you. You're not missing out. You're choosing differently. Choosing peace over performance. Choosing honesty over pretending. Choosing yourself after years of choosing everyone else. And that choice, quiet and lonely as it sometimes feels, might be the most loving thing you've ever done. Not just for yourself, but for the version of you that's been waiting all along to finally be chosen. Your absence isn't rejection, it's reclamation.
You're reclaiming your right to feel safe, your right to be real, your right to exist without disappearing. And maybe that's the real meaning of family anyway. Not the people you're born to, but the people who make you feel like you can finally come home to yourself.